All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are all doing great. Today, we're going to be exploring system hacking, and this session will be interactive. So feel free to ask questions and share insights. So let's get started into today's class. So when we're talking about system hacking, so what does system hacking means? Here says system hacking is one of the major ways threat actors use to gain unauthorized access to network system. So basically, when we're talking about this system hacking is one of the major way a threat actors use to gain unauthorized access to our network system. Okay, so this attacker use what we call a malicious software. So attacker use a malicious software, which is what we know as a malware, to gain unauthorized access to system. So before a bad guy can have access to your system, a bad guy going to use what we call a malicious software, which is what we call malware. So when we're talking about this malware, here says malware is a malicious code used to compromise the security of a system. So malware is a malicious code that is used to compromise the security of a system. So what does that one mean? If you have a system and we are able to inject malware inside the system, the security of the system is going to be weakened, which means that the security of the system going to be reduced, and a lot of malware and a lot of a virus will be able to enter the system, and the system is not going to be able to capture all those malicious software. Okay, so malware is a malicious code that we use to compromise. So when we're talking about compromise, it's like a weaken the security of a system. So when we're talking about this malware, we have different types of malware. The first one here is a virus. So when we're talking about virus is a malicious code that requires some user's action to propagate. Okay, so before virus can propagate on a network, it requires some users to take action with it before it can propagate. So when we're talking about this malware virus here, this guy here is designed to deliver a payload. So this virus is designed to deliver a payload, which is a malicious payload, and we have different variants for this virus. First one, we have a stealth virus, we have polymorphic virus, and we have an encrypted virus. So as we all know that when we're talking about virus is a malicious code that requires some user's action before it can propagate. And this virus here is designed to deliver what we call a malicious payload. And we have different variants for this virus. We have stealth virus, we have polymorphic virus, and we have an encrypted virus. So the second type of a malware we're talking about is a worm. Okay, so when we're talking about worm is similar to virus but don't need users' actions to propagate. So when we're talking about worm and virus, they are similar to each other. As we all know that before virus can propagate, it needs some users' action. But when we're talking about a worm doesn't need a user's action before it can propagate. So this worm, once it entered a network, it often search for the local network for system with vulnerability. So what does that one mean is that if I created a type of malware that is called worm, once worm is able to enter the network, worm himself is going to scan all the entire network, and anytime worm see any system with a vulnerability, worm is going to attach to the system itself. So it doesn't need anybody to take action before it can propagate. The third type of a malware here is what we call Trojan horses. So when we're talking about Trojan horses, this Trojan horses is designed to trick user into installing by masquerading as another software or application. Once it has been installed, it perform as advertised but also deliver a malicious payload. So when we're talking about this a Trojan horses, this Trojan horses here is a type of a malware that is designed to trick user into installing it. For example, we all know a VLC. We know the function of a VLC. We can use VLC to play a video and to play our audio music. We can create a type of a malware that is called Trojan horses, and that Trojan horse is going to design the same way that VLC is. And any victim that download the VLC into his or her system, the VLC will still be doing the normal work of VLC, which is to play video. In the other hand, the VLC will still be deliver a malicious payload. So that's how a Trojan horses is. So that's the reason why anytime we want to install any application, it's not something that is good for us to just go to another website and go and download any application. We can be downloading Trojan horses on our system and we are not going to know. So when you're talking about this Trojan horses, this is designed to trick user into installing it by masquerade as another software or application. So the next one here is a logic bomb. So when you're talking about logic bomb, this malicious malware here is designed to lay in wait and deliver their payload. And when logical conditions are met, condition may include date, time, stock price, removal of a user's account. So this malware called logic bomb is designed to lay in wait and deliver their payload when logical conditions are met. So I can create a type of a malware and I say the malware should hold on until tomorrow before it can be propagate and deliver the payload. That type of malware is what we call a logic bomb. The malware is not going to be acting immediately. It's going to be acting based on whatever you have already configured on it. You can schedule the time for the malware and you can schedule the date for the malware. All those type of malware are what we call logic bomb. So the next one here is a backdoor. So when we're talking about backdoors are security bypass mechanism that are created by a software developer. All these type of malware are not always created with a malicious intent and it always introduces a security vulnerability. So when we're talking about this backdoor is a security bypass mechanism that is used by a third party. Like if government want to check how stand our network is, they can make use of a backdoor to have access to our back end network, and they will use it to check maybe our network has a vulnerability or not. But this type of a malware, bad guy create this malware for a malicious intent. As we all know that this type of a malware called backdoor, it only introduce a security vulnerability. So anytime a bad guy create a malware named backdoor, the bad guy is going to introduce a security vulnerability to them and they're going to use that particular malware to exploit and have access to our network. So the other type of a malware here is a botnet. So when we're talking about botnet is a collection of a system that is controlled by a botnet master. So when we're talking about botnet master, those are the attackers, which are the guy that creates all those bots. So this is usually amused through other form of a malicious code and it's always numbered into thousands of systems and is useful for DDoS attack. So when we're talking about this botnet is the collection of a system that is controlled by bad guys. And all these systems are numbered into thousands and all these systems are useful in when we're talking about DDoS attack, which is a distributed denial of service. So anytime a bad guy wants to create a DDoS attack, they're going to making use of a botnet to achieve that particular goals so that they can be controlling multiple systems to be exploiting attack at the same time. So the next one here is a spyware. So when we're talking about spyware, this spyware is a malicious code specifically designed to monitor user activity and report back to the source. Often look for sensitive personal information such as password, SSN, credit card number, and so on. So basically, when we're talking about this spyware is a type of a malicious code that is created to monitor users' activity. Okay, I can create a malware named spyware. And once the spyware enter into the victim system, the spyware going to be monitor everything that the victim is doing on the system and is going to be reporting back to me. And the spyware going to be searching, looking for wherever the sensitive information is on the victim system. Sensitive information like password, like social security number, like credit card number, and so on. And the malware going to be reporting to the bad guy with all those information. So those type of malware is what we call spyware. So the last one here is the ransomware. So when we're talking about ransomware is a malicious software that is designed to block access to a computer system until a sum of money is paid. It often encrypts the victim personal data. So basically, when we're talking about this ransomware is a malicious software that designed to block access to a computer system. Let's assume that I created a malware called ransomware, and the malware is able to enter the victim system. The malware going to block the local drive C of the system, and going to block all everything on the system, which means that the victim won't be able to access the system anymore. And once the victim wants to log into the system, the victim going to see another page that shows a Bitcoin wallet that you should pay a sum of amount before they can open the system for the victim. So that is what a ransomware is. This ransomware designed to block access to a computer system until a sum of money is paid. It often encrypts the victim personal data. So it's going to encrypt all the victim personal data, and the victim is not going to have access to all those data until the victim pays that particular amount. Here says they commonly use difficult to trace digital currencies such as Bitcoin. So they can give the victim Bitcoin wallets to pay the amount, because Bitcoin wallet it is not traceable. So they're going to make a for they're going to give the victim the form of payment that is not going to be traceable to them, like Bitcoin or PaySafe card, making tracing and prosecuting the perpetrators difficult. Okay, so when you're talking about this ransomware, is when a bad guy blocking your system so that the user won't be able to have access to his document and data on the system. Before the user can have access, the user needs to pay some amount of money. Is either through a Bitcoin wallet or through PaySafe card, so that they won't be able to trace all those things to them. So that is what we call ransomware. Okay, so the next thing we're going to be talking about now are the tools that we use to create malware. So basically, we have different tools that we use to create malware. First one here is a MSF Venom, which is a Metasploit framework Venom. We have Veil and we have Fatrat. So these are the different tools that we use to create malware. But in this demonstration, we're going to learn how to create malware with an MSF Venom. So we're going to be using MSF Venom to create malware in this demonstration. Okay, so those are the everything that we'll need to talk about on the malware. So the next thing now is to go to the practical aspects. So before we head into the practical aspects, I want to put your mind into this, that this video here is only meant for educational purpose. Shouldn't use it against system that you don't have the permissions to do so. Okay, because all those things that we use here, we created it on our own lab. So anytime you want to perform your own, you can create your own lab and perform your own attack on it. So this shouldn't attack another system. Okay, so let's dive into the practical aspect. So we're going to come into our virtual box. So inside our virtual box, we're going to be making use of a Kali and a Windows 10. So this Kali here going to act as a attacker machine, and this Windows 10 going to act as a victim machine. So we're going to be hacking into this Windows 10 from this Kali. So let's open our Kali and let's log in into our Kali. So I have some couple of commands that we're going to be using here. The first command here says MSF Venom. So if I highlighted this command here, the first command here is to create a malware. So as what I explained to you earlier, that we're going to be using MSF Venom to create our own malware. Here now says MSF Venom, which is the tools that we are using to create malware. The next thing here is a -p. This -p here means payload. So the payload that we want to be creating here is a Windows metapreter reverse underscore TCP. That is a Windows payload. And the architecture here is this. This A here is the architecture. And the platform is a Windows. F here stands from format. The format we are using is the executive. And the LOs here stand from a local host, which is the IP address of your Kali. So you're going to change this thing to wherever the IP address of your Kali is. Next one is a L port, which is a local port. You're going to choose any port number that you want. And this O here stands from our output, which is a directory that we want to save our malware. So we say that we want to save this malware in a root directory, and we're going to name it something 32.exe. So you can actually name it anything that you want to name it based on wherever you want. Okay, the first thing I'm going to be doing now is that I'm going to check my Kali IP. I'm going to be checking my Kali IP by using ifconfig. So as you can see, here is my Kali IP 192.168.0.222. I'm going to copy that. Once I copy that, I go back to this command where we have a localhost. I'm going to change it with my Kali IP. Okay, so once I change it with my Kali IP, I can rename the name of my malware. I can name my malware antivirus. Okay, so let me just name my own antivirus.exe, and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to copy this command, and I make sure that I'm in my root directory. Okay, so I'm going to paste the command, but before I hit enter key, I'm still going to explain this command again. This command we put here is to create our malware. So the tools we are using is a MSF Venom. -p here is a payload which we are using Windows metapreter reverse underscore TCP. Architecture here is a 64-bit, and the platform is a Windows. -f, which is the format, is a executable, and the LOs, which is the local host, must be your Kali IP address, which is the attacker machine, and the L port, which is a local port, must be any port number that you want to use. -o here start from the output, which is where we want to save our malware, and here is the name of the malware. So we hit enter key. So once we hit enter key, we hold on for these tools to create our malware. So we hold on for these tools to create our malware. Okay, as you can see that we have successfully created our malware, and you're going to see the information here. So if I want to check the malware that we created, I'm already in my root directory, because when we are creating this malware, we say that this malware should save in our root directory. So let me check by using ls. If I type ls, you're going to see our malware here, which is a antivirus.exe. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do right now is that we're going to go ahead and scan this particular malware. We're going to upload this malware online and we're going to scan the malware. Once we scan it, we're going to see how many antivirus solutions that detected it. Anytime we are scanning this malware and we out of let's assume that we have like a 10 antivirus solution, and I upload this malware, and out of the 10 it is only 5 that is detecting it. All those 5 that are detecting the malware, those are the good malwares to be using on our system, so that anytime bad guy creates malware, the antivirus will still be flagging and detected all those malware. But anytime you are using the malware that anytime that you are using antivirus that did not detected this malware, it means that even if you are using the antivirus on your system, bad guy will still be able to hack into your system. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now is to upload this particular malware here online and see how many antivirus are going to detect the malware. But before I do that, I need to put this malware on my desktop. So if I open my file system and I drag to where my root is, I open as root, going to ask me for password, and I put my password. As you can see here, this is my malware antivirus.exe. So I'm going to copy this malware and I will put this malware on my desktop. So I'm going to paste this malware into my desktop. So you're going to see the malware on my desktop right now. Here is the malware. So the next thing I'm going to do is to upload this malware online to see how many antivirus that detected this malware. So we're going to open our browser. So we open our browser and we hold on for the browser to come up. Okay, so once it's come up, we're going to type virus total. We're going to browse to this website, virustotal.com. Virustotal.com. I'm going to hit enter key. Virustotal.com, and we're going to hit enter key. So we hold on for the websites to come up. Okay, so once we are in the virustotal.com, we want to upload this malware online and see how many antivirus solutions that detected this. So just come to choose file. Just come to choose file and you're going to navigate to wherever your malware is. This is my own malware and I'm going to click on open. Click on confirm upload. Make sure this file. I'm coming. Sudo -i Kali and I do shimon 777 antivirus.exe. Hold on. Okay, so let's drag down to that website and let's go and choose our malware again and click on open, confirm. I think this is a network. So what we want to do is that we want to upload our malware online. All right, so as you all see that once we scan the malware, here showing us that out of 73 of a antivirus solution, it is only 61 that detected it. The remaining other are not detected it. So if I drag down, you're going to see that the first antivirus solution that detected this is a Acronis. And this guy detected this as a suspicious software. And the second one here is a Ali Cloud. Ali Cloud as well detected this at the backdoor. We have an anti-AVL, we have Avast. So all these guys here, they are the antivirus that detected this malware. So what does that one mean is that anytime that I want to tell my company to be using a strong antivirus solution, I can show them this demonstration here, and out of any antivirus that detected this malware, those are the good antivirus to be using on our network. So if I drag down, you can see that we have some various antivirus solutions that did not detected it. Example like Baidu, we have Dr. Web, we have Kingsoft, Palo Alto, we have Zona, Bitdefender, we have Panda, we have Alibaba. So all these guys here, if you are using this antivirus on your system, bad guys are still going to be able to hack into your system, because the antivirus is not going to be detecting all those malicious software. So any antivirus here that they detected this thing as a malware, those are the good antivirus to be using. So you can see we have a lot of the antivirus here that detected this guy here as a malicious software. Microsoft as well detected it. So we have a lot of antivirus that detected it, but any antivirus that did not detected it, those are the fake antivirus that we shouldn't be using on our network. So this is how you create a malware, and this is how you scan the malware to see how many antivirus that can detected it. We go to virustotal.com and we're going to upload the malware. Once you upload, you're going to scan it and you're going to see how many that detected the malware. So the next thing I'm going to explain to you right now is to now use the malware to hack into the Windows 10. So I'm going to stop.